Hey ladies, it's Victoria. Thanks so much for coming back to my channel. It's been a while. This last cycle was pretty crazy. I ended up with some severe OHSS, but I'm going to get into all of that. This video is going to be really long. I thought about splitting it up into pieces, but I have clips that I had filmed previously, and I just feel like if I try to split this up, it's not going to make any sense. So I'm going to try to keep my new stuff concise, but I do have several previous clips that are going to make this video probably well over the 20-minute range. So hopefully you can hang in there with me, but I promise I have a lot of really interesting stuff to talk about. So let's just do a brief recap. I have some notes on my work phone that I'm using to do this. So first, I just want to do a brief recap about what's going on and where we're coming from, and so that we're all on the same page. So as you guys know, the end of January, we started stimming for our second IVF round. And we started immediately after we completed the previous round. So there was no break in between. We started again right away. So this time my follistim started, we did follistim this time instead of Brevel. We did 375 units to start with. Then we added in the Menopur and dropped it down to 300 units. Plus the Ganirelix, and then we triggered on the 10th with 10,000 units of Novarel, and my retrieval was on the 12th. So I do have a couple of clips to kind of go over my appointment updates. So I'm going to insert a couple clips that I did after my second follow-up right here. Hey ladies, it's Victoria. Thanks so much for coming back to my channel. Today is Friday, woohoo! Friday the 6th of February, and I had my second follow-up appointment today for our second stim round for IVF. So I wanted to kind of update you guys on that and how it went and what the changes in my protocol are, and talk about a few symptoms. And then later tonight, and well, in about 2.5 hours when I do my injections, I'll show you since they're changing, so you guys can kind of see what's happening. So let's start off with how I'm feeling. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm having some nausea now. I'm actually having a hard time eating. My appetite is pretty low. I'm assuming a lot of that's due to the bloating and the extra pressure, but yeah, I'm not that hungry, and I am kind of nauseous. It's weird. Sorry about that. Yeah, so really the nausea and just being tired are my two main symptoms. I think I'm really tired today though, because I had to get up at 4:45 this morning to get to my appointment. So even though it's only 3:45 in the afternoon, I've still been up for almost, 12 hours at this point. So probably has something to do with it. But no complaints. So yeah, and obviously the bloating. My stomach is very distended at this point. I told you guys the other day, someone asked me when I was due, so clearly my belly is protruding at this point. So, and that's okay. I'm just thankful that it's winter and I can wear big, comfy, baggy clothes that pretty much hide it, so that makes me feel good. I'm also really distracted today, and I'm sorry if I'm kind of all over the place. Right now, as we speak, literally this moment, my best friend in the entire universe is getting her ultrasound to find out if she is having a boy or a girl. And I'm just over the moon. I am so excited, and we don't care. No one cares. She doesn't care either way. The big joke right now is she's felt like this baby was a girl from the moment she found out that she was pregnant. And so for the last 6 months, she's been referring to this baby as she or her or my little girl, or she calls her by her name. They have a girl's name and a boy's name picked out, but it's really, really funny, and we keep picking on her that her son, if she's pregnant with a boy, he's going to have the biggest complex in the entire world because he spent the first 6 months of his life being called she. So not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just funny. Plus her husband will never let her live it down if this baby is a boy. So I'm super excited. I am not getting a phone call tonight. She will not be calling me or telling me because, and I blame myself. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm also like, at the same time. I made a comment how fun I thought it was. She has 2 stepkids. Her husband has 2 children, and they're going to wait until they have them again next week and do like a gender reveal to tell them. And I told her how cute I thought that was and how I wish that, she was having like a gender reveal party or something. And because she and I are meeting up tomorrow to go shopping, she's now making me wait because I opened my mouth and said how cute I thought it would be to surprise me. So now I have to wait until tomorrow morning at about 9 a.m. to find out. So, me and my big mouth, but that's okay. I'm so excited. I'm just so happy for her that she's pregnant and everything has gone so well. She's had a really good pregnancy. So I'm just excited. Anyway, so yeah, I'm distracted today too. So sorry about that. Really, that's it symptom-wise. I'm doing very well. Oh, and my acne, my neck is like crazy breaking out, and now my face is getting some cystic spots, which is really annoying, but we'll take it. We'll take it. So today was my second follow-up. Yeah, today, is day 8 of my cycle, and today will be, I can't even talk today. So I did stims Saturday, Sunday, Monday, had my appointment on Tuesday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So today will be night 7 of stims. Things are going very, very well. My follow-up was good. I took a picture of it, and then of course I forgot my other phone to read it off to you. But basically, I have 10 above an 8 on the right side and 9 above an 8 on the left side, and they're all really, really close. A majority of them are at 10. I think out of the 19 that I have above an 8, 10 of them are at a 10 and 6 of them are at an 8 or something like that. It's pretty close to those numbers. So they're all growing as a group this time, which is awesome, because last time I had a lot of like 7, 9, 8, 12, 18. They were really sporadic and kind of all over the place. And I know the Brevelle and the Follistim are pretty much the same thing. I mean, they're both in FSH, but I feel like I'm responding, even though it's a little bit slower, I feel like I'm responding more evenly. And the way that we have my protocol set up this time, I feel like I'm responding more evenly, which is nice. They're all pretty much at the same point, which makes me happy and hopeful that what we'll get are a bunch of mature eggs this time and not have the issue that we had last time. So anyway, yeah, so I have 19 follicles. My lining is at a 9.3. Again, not that it matters because we're not transferring this month. We'll be doing that hopefully next month if we get enough embryos to do PGD and everything comes back well with PGD. But she said everything looks amazing. My blood work is good. So my new protocol starting tonight, I'm dropping my dose from 375 units of Follistim to 300 units of Follistim, and I'm adding... Sorry about that, guys. Of course, I would get a phone call in the middle of filming. It's really funny because usually I'm not off work this early, so I never get phone calls, so I thought I'd be safe, but no such luck. Anyway, so as I was saying, my new protocol at night is, instead of 375 units of Follistim, I'm down to 300, and I'm adding a vial of Menopur. So I'll be doing the shot for the Follistim and then a shot for the Menopur, and then starting tomorrow morning we'll add the Ganirelix. And I know some places do the Ganirelix at night, but my clinic really likes to make that in the morning. So, so that once we get closer to transfer, my last Ganirelix will be spaced 36 hours before my retrieval. So that's why they like to do it in the morning. So yeah, so tomorrow we'll add the Ganirelix. I picked up a few more of those today. 3 of them cost $500. That was just lovely. But that's, you know, you do what you have to do. Thank God for credit cards. So that'll be my new protocol. Still on the doxycycline, still on all my supplements. Nothing else changes. Jason's taking his doxycycline. So everything is going really, really well. You know, my mom asked me today, though, when I called her, she's like, you seem so different this time. You don't really want to talk about it. And it's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just I'm not allowing myself to get super excited about anything, because I had really good follicle counts like this last time, and we see how that turned out. So what I've learned from last time is a really good follicle count isn't necessarily indicative of what you're going to end up with. So I'm just trying not to get ahead of myself and be like, oh my goodness, you know, we're going to have all these embryos, because, and hopefully I am praying for a different result this time, but you never know. So I'm just trying to keep myself a little bit more level, if that makes sense this time. Sorry, that was odd. Anyway, told you I'm distracted today. So yeah, I think that's really about it. So I will add a clip of me doing my injections later. I know you guys have seen the follow stem a few times, but hey, everyone loves me dropping my phone and my camera, so let's see if we can do that a few more times. We'll keep it going. No. But I'll show you the Menopur injection, since this will be the first time I'm doing that by itself. I mixed it last time. So that's it for now, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye! Alright, so you got to hear a little bit about my second follow-up, but as you heard, that was February 6th. Today is the 20th, so a lot has happened since then. My lining this time stayed really, really good. It was well over 12 by the time we got to retrieval, so they're not concerned about how my lining will react once we get to a point at which we're ready to transfer. So that's really good. And my counts all stayed about the same. I actually felt like they were pretty identical to last month. To January, but you're about to see that I was very wrong. But first I want to insert a couple of clips that I took the morning of the retrieval. Here we go, guys. Retrieval number 2. I have my sexy gown on. Alright, I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye. So I told you guys that I would see you after my retrieval in that video, and obviously you haven't seen me for quite a while. That retrieval resulted in 39 eggs. I was completely blown away, but as soon as they told me the number, I knew what that meant. And I noticed right away upon waking up this time that I was in a completely different state of mind. I was in a whole lot more pain this time than I was last time, and it was a very like stabbing, achy, it was pretty awful, and I noticed that my stomach was already pretty bloated. And so the nurse said, yeah, we got a lot of eggs, but you're kind of overstimulated, which 39 eggs, I would think so. So she brought me all the paperwork on OHSS, which is something that I have been dealing with, and that's my next talking point. I ended up with moderate to, we were bordering on severe, but I was able to kind of knock it back so we didn't get to the point that I had to be hospitalized. But I had pretty big OHSS problems that developed instantly. I won't go into too much detail unless you guys are really interested in hearing more about it, but some of the symptoms that I had were extreme bloating. I was bloated during stimming, but I looked 6 months pregnant and my stomach was hard as a rock. So it's not even like, it looked like I ate too many cheeseburgers. I looked pregnant. And that actually was one of the hardest symptoms for me because it was really difficult to deal with looking pregnant when it's the one thing you want in the world and you're just not. So that was hard. I was constipated, which was not fun. It took many days to correct that situation through lots of methods that I'm sure you want to hear nothing about, and I quite frankly don't want to relive. I couldn't eat a whole lot. I was exhausted. The pain. I could actually feel, when I laid down, I could feel, and even standing up at the very beginning, I could feel my ovaries. They were huge, and the pain went from like my upper rib cage, like just below where your bra goes, all the way down into my pelvic bone, and it was awful. It was not fun. I had headaches. I was nauseous. I was so sick. That was terrible. It was, the whole experience obviously is just not enjoyable, but we found out that I had a lot of fluid in my abdomen that had leaked out, which explained a whole lot of things. My weight gain was extremely severe, and it's not because I was eating. It was from the fluid. I actually gained a total of 14 pounds, and I was barely eating. I got an A+ because I was doing everything I was supposed to. I've only had Gatorade to drink since my retrieval, well, actually since the day before my retrieval. I've only been drinking Gatorade. I've been drinking a ton of it. I should have stock in Gatorade at this point. I've gone through so much. I was eating salty food. I was making sure that I was, sleeping elevated so that I wasn't laying flat. I was propped up. I had my legs up. I was eating protein. I was doing everything that I possibly could, but it just wasn't helping. They did put me on letrozole immediately. They ended up giving me a prescription for Percocet, which obviously was only further exacerbating the constipation issue. So I actually quit taking that by Saturday because I couldn't deal with the other symptoms. So the letrozole, I was on Colace, Miralax. They put me on Zofran for the nausea, my supplements, aspirin. It's just been like, So today is actually the first day since my retrieval. So now is Friday the 20th and my retrieval is the 12th. So we're 8 days out. And today is the first day that I felt more like myself. I'm still short of breath, though they never found fluid in my lungs. I've still had breathing problems as it gets later in the day, which, is still related to the extra weight and bloating. The doctor feels confident that in the next few days, hopefully that weight will all go away. So that's really exciting. So that's OHSS in a little neat nutshell, but if you want to hear more about it, I'd be happy to do a separate video. So I wanted to talk about the results. So I told you we got 39 eggs. Of those 39, this time, 24 fertilized and became embryos. And we were ecstatic. We were so excited. We were over the moon. I never expected that phone call. I was actually afraid because this time my levels rose fast and we had to trigger sooner than they thought, that we were going to end up with a ton of immature eggs. But clearly, we didn't. So that was exciting. So day 1, we had 24. Day 3, they called me, and as what happened last time, we had dropped to only 10 were looking really good. They were all A and B quality. They weren't fragmenting, but the others, so my other 14 were extremely fragmented. And I think at that point is when I kind of started to realize I'd allowed myself to get my hopes up again when we'd heard 39 and 24. I was already planning a transfer and I shouldn't have gone there. So we had 10 on day 3. So sorry. I'm still so tired. Today was a big day, but I'm going to get to that. And then day 5, we only had 2. And there were still 4 more that she was watching that she was going to allow to go one more day. But we only had 2. One was an A and the other was a B+. So they were biopsied and frozen and added to the one that we have from last cycle. So that was 3. And then on day 6, she called me and said we got 1 more that was a B-. She said it was probably more, as with the rest, in the B range, but she grades tough. So at this point, we have 2 A's, a B+, and a B- that are biopsied and frozen. To say I felt heartbroken is an understatement. And not just me, Jason, we were devastated. 4 is not what we need. When you're doing PGD, you need more, because the chances of that many coming back chromosomally normal, especially in my case, is just not likely. And we had a lot of well-intended people who, were trying to help, saying, oh, just don't do the PGD, just transfer them, just transfer 3 of them, just do it. Which is great, except we've already paid for half of the PGD by paying for the biopsy fees. So we've already put out almost $3,500 towards the biopsying. So we're not just going to not go through with PGD when we're already more than halfway paid for it. It would be a waste. And plus, given my history of 5 miscarriages, they believe that there is something wrong chromosomally, and this is why I keep miscarrying. So we were kind of in a predicament. We were at a point, the embryologist spoke with us on the phone, and said that, we could start thinking about a lot of options. She said it would be important, if we wanted to have more than one biological child, to stim again and get more eggs and more embryos in the bank, because with the 4, given my history, they believe that we will have 2 that will come back chromosomally normal. They want to transfer both, and the studies show that usually, and of course that's not the case. We know so many people who have ended up with twins and successfully carry both, but the statistics show that you usually get 1 out of that. So we want more than 1 child, and like they said, given my issues, it's better to get them in the bank now while I'm 30, and then we can come back to them later. So she said that was one thing. She said another thing we could start thinking about is egg donation. They actually do that in-house. They have a whole frozen egg bank that we could utilize so that we could move forward immediately. Oh my goodness, I can't stop yawning. I'm so sorry. I did not sleep last night. I was so nervous for today. So the frozen egg bank, or they also do embryo adoption in-house. So she said those are all things that we could think about. She said we could move forward with just doing PGD on the 4 if we only, if we felt good about just having 1 biological child and then looking another route to add siblings. Then she said let's do the 4. But sorry about that. Of course, I got a phone call in the middle of this. I've not had good luck with this recently. But anyway, she said if you don't feel comfortable with that, just moving forward with the 4, then let's talk about doing this again. But what she was really interested in doing is getting me in a sit down with my doctor face to face. And luckily I had another follow-up scheduled for today. So that's what I wanted to talk about. The really exciting news comes from today. My ultrasound looked much better. Most of the fluid is gone. My ovaries are starting to shrink. They're still huge, but they're getting there, and a lot of my symptoms have alleviated, so that's good. So I did get a sit down with, my husband and I both went, and we did get a sit down with the doctor today. And what he had to say was, given everything that has happened and the results and the fact that so many of my embryos fragment to such a large degree, that I have an egg defect. I have an egg quality defect, which is not something we can really treat or correct. Of course, you can make dietary changes and things like that, but he believes that mine is a much deeper issue, and it's not something that we're going to change with dietary or supplement changes. Now, of course, we're still going to make those changes. I'm going to do them because anything we can do to help, I'm doing it, but he doesn't want me to get my hopes up that that's going to change. He said most likely that's just me. It's just the way it is. And as hard as that was to hear, and it broke my heart, it also gave me this overwhelming sense of peace. I finally had answers. This is why I'm losing babies. This is why my embryos are not making it to day 5. My babies are not making it to day 5 blastocyst stage because of an egg quality defect. And it was hard. It was really hard to hear him say that. But at the same time, like I said, it gave me a sense of peace that I haven't had at all in the last 4 years. So it's just good to finally, kind of like meeting someone, being able to put a face with a name. It's like that, finally being able to put a reason to our pain. It just helps bring closure, at least in my case. So he said that what he really believes is that we need to go again. We need to stim again. We need to get more. He wants to get 8 to send to PGD so that we have as many opportunities as possible. Like I said before, he and the embryologist agree that I'll probably have 50% that come back normal. So if we were to end up with 4 chromosomally normal embryos, I would have a really good chance of at least having 2 biological children out of that, if not 3, which is what we want. So that was great to hear, but at the same time, as you guys know, if you're going through IVF or fertility treatments, or you've looked into it, or you know someone who's going through it, it's insanely expensive. It is so expensive, and we have put ourselves in a hole doing this, and we all do. So I'm not complaining or saying we're different than anyone else. You have to mortgage your life to do this, and it's worth every single penny, and I would do it over and over again, no questions asked about it. But we have put ourselves in a hole, and he wants to go again, not this next cycle that should be starting in the next week or so, but the cycle after. Just because I overstimulated, he wants me to give myself a break, let myself fully recover, which I'm very happy with. So he wants to go again in March, and this time, you know, the meds are going to be a little bit more expensive, and we don't know that we're going to be able to pony up that kind of money that quickly. We just don't have the resources right now. It's a really hard time of the year for my husband in his industry. I had to be off work for the last week and a half because of my retrieval and then my OHSS. I wasn't allowed to go back to work. So financially, it's been rough. Like you guys all know, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but just sharing everything. So I asked him about some costs, about what we can do to try to either get in a study, make this cheaper somehow, and then we also asked about egg donation, like utilizing their egg bank or embryo adoption. And what we found out is that that's probably going to be way out of our ability to do. Eggs are $2,000 an egg, and you have to buy 5. So that's $10,000 just for the eggs. No guarantees that they're going to turn into viable embryos, obviously, because you have to create them. They have to, you know, be fertilized. So you have no idea. So it's $10,000 on hope. And that's just a lot of money that we wouldn't have up front. And then embryo donation or embryo adoption is 3 to 4 times that much. So that's just, it's not even feasible. So knowing all that, I said, you know, I know we have to do this again, but we either need more time to come up with the money or a study or something. And he was fantastic. He said he tried to work with the financial coordinator and maybe cut us a break, do whatever he could. But then he also suggested we talk to the director of studies. So originally Jason and I had said, you know, we'll call her, we'll make an appointment and come in. But as we were checking out, I was like, you know what? I said to the lady, I said, you know, is the director here? We just really want to see if we can talk to her if she's available. I just want to get all my options on the table and know whether or not this is even a chance for us. So we had to wait about another half hour, but we were able to see her. And immediately she ruled me out of pretty much every study they have because I have PCOS. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but if you have PCOS, there are not many funded studies that allow you in if you have PCOS because you're like a whole other animal and it alters the study too much to include someone with PCOS. So she instantly started telling me about everything I couldn't do, and I just kind of looked at Jason and was like, well, this was a waste. But then she said, but I have this brand new study and I don't think it excludes PCOS. So she pulled out the paperwork and started going through all of the qualifiers with us. And actually, I went on the government website. It's clinicaltrials.gov, and you can search by type, which in this case, it's the aneuploidy. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Everyone says it a little different. And you can search by state and you can search by type. Like there's just so many options. So I went to clinicaltrials.gov and I pulled up the criteria so that I could tell you guys a little bit about it because it is going on. I don't know about outside of this country, but it is going on within the United States in multiple states. In the state of Pennsylvania, I can tell you that my clinic is the only one offering this study. So if you live near me and are interested, after I tell you about the criteria, let me know and I'd be happy to give you my clinic's information so you could see if you qualify. They just started accepting participants and they're looking for 160. So that's really exciting. A lot of people can do this. So the inclusion criteria, oh, and by the way, this study is called the STAR study. It's single embryo transfer of euploid embryo is the full name. And it's sponsored by Illumina and Reprogenics of New Jersey. So just so you guys know, if you're looking stuff up, that's what it is. So the inclusion criteria is the patient must be going through IVF. Yay! And you must have at least 2 blastocysts suitable for biopsy on day 5 or day 6 of embryo development. So given the fact that we've changed my protocol and I got 3 this time, hopefully we'll hit the 2 next time. Exclusion criteria. Now, there are some other little things within here, so I'm going to explain that too. If you've had more than 1 implantation failure, so if you've transferred an embryo that's either been tested or made it to blastocyst stage and then transferred and it didn't work, that would exclude you. If you've had more than 1 miscarriage, now obviously I've had 5, but what excludes me is we didn't get to the point of hearing a heartbeat. All of mine were so early, or we had the issue where the doctor couldn't see me and then I ended up being farther along than I thought I was, and that whole mess. So none of my miscarriages were considered viable for research purposes because we never got a heartbeat. So that's why I'm still okay. If the parents have a chromosomal abnormality or single gene disorder, which MTFHR is not considered a big deal, so that doesn't matter. So otherwise, both of us are in good shape, so we can do it. Non-study related pre-implantation genetic testing. So if we had had any sort of other testing done prior to this, we would be excluded, but we haven't done that yet. If we were using donor oocytes or gestational carriers, we would be excluded. We're not doing that. If there's a male factor of less than 1 million sperm or you're using surgical sperm, you're excluded. If your FSH is greater than 10, you're excluded. If your AMH is less than 5, you're excluded. If you're doing a gender selection cycle, so if you want to know what you're having, you're excluded. And if you're currently participating in any other clinical trial, you're excluded. Now, we were in the EVA study both these last times, but that study only lasts for the 5 days that you have blastocysts that are embryos, and then blastocysts that are being watched. So we're not currently in those studies, so we're good. So those are the inclusion and exclusion criterion. Obviously, there's a lot more detail, but like I said, if you go on that clinicaltrials.gov and then search in the aneuploidy category and look for STAR, it'll come right up. So you can check that out and see if something in your state is being offered and where, and it gives you the doctor's name and phone number. It's great. So definitely check it out. You have to be between 25 and 40. So obviously I'm also that. So that was the other thing. And PCOS is not excluded. So yay. So we got accepted to the STAR study, and here begins my super exciting news. Because we were accepted to the STAR study, what that means is the PGD testing is half price. So instead of $6,000, it's $3,000. And any amount of money that you can save is huge. Now, the study does not include medication. And when she told us that, Jason and I kind of both looked at each other, and it's like, well, we still can't afford to do this for a while, and the study may be filled up by the time we're able to. And she said, hold on a minute. She wanted to go talk to my doctor and make sure that he was on board. I guess I should explain the study too. Like any study, there are 2 arms of the study. There's a control group and a test group, like always. It's completely randomized. They won't know, we won't know what testing group we're in. The only people that, and they won't know our names, they'll just know what embryos they're working with will be assigned a number. So they'll know the numbers that are in each one, but they won't know that I'm in whichever group. It's randomized. So if we end up in the control group, what that means is on day 5, they'll take our blastocysts and they'll grade them as they always do. And they will take the one that's the best, and they will freeze that one without doing a biopsy. The rest of our embryos will be biopsied, tested, and frozen. But the one embryo that was not tested is the one that will be transferred back. So that's the risk with this study, is you're risking being in the control group and having an embryo put back that was not tested. However, my doctor feels pretty good that, things will work out okay for us. So I'm willing to take that risk. And then if you end up in the test arm of the study, all of them are PGD tested, and then they put the absolute best one back based on the results of the testing. It's a single embryo transfer, like I said, so you don't get to put 2 back like he wants to do. It's just 1. But, they're going to learn a lot from this, and it gives us an opportunity to go again. So, of course, we were definitely interested. So since he felt good about it, when she came back, she said, and I might be able to get you some medication. And I was like, oh, of course we got excited. And she picked up this plastic bag of medication and said, I just had a young lady in here right before you who is pregnant, and she just found out that she's pregnant. And so she turned in her medication. What were you on last time? So I told her, about the follistim and the ganirelix and whatever. And so she's like, well, let's see what we can do. And she opens the bag. And here's where I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. There is exactly, because I still have some follistim left from last cycle, there is exactly enough follistim to get me through another cycle on top of what I have left, and ganirelix on top of what I have left. So the only thing that we're going to have to buy is maybe 1 or 2 vials of Menopure and my trigger shot. That is it. That is it. And I'm so excited. Oh my God. It's amazing. I have been praying. I just keep saying to anyone who will listen to me, I don't need this to be easy. I don't need it to be handed to me. I don't need this to just suddenly get simple and boom, we're pregnant. I don't expect my life to be easy, but what I did want is a sign, just something that we're doing the right thing, and just something to break our way. Things have been, like I said, so hard financially, obviously everything we're going through, you know, emotionally, just in life in general outside of TTC has been very difficult recently. So this was a gift from God, and I truly believe that this is a sign that not only are we doing the right thing, but He hears me. And it just, oh, for the first time in a long time, I have hope. I have real hope, and I can't even tell you how good it feels. I feel like a new person. Jason and I left the office and we were both screaming. He ran up the stairs and was doing like the Rocky thing at the top of the stairs. We are just so excited. We are so excited, and I feel so blessed and so lucky. So we are the first patient in this study in Pennsylvania, and what'll happen from here, since we're skipping the next cycle, we have an appointment with her on March 13th, the director and my doctor, to sit down and go through all the forms, get everything filled out, get us enrolled, and then as soon as my cycle starts towards the end of March, we'll get going, and I will be in the STAR study, and we will be on our way to more embryos. So, I'm super excited, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So anyway, this video has gone on long enough, but that's where we are. I kind of want to do a few more videos just to kind of fill in some blanks. If you guys want more specific details, please check out my Instagram. I'm going to link it down below like always, but check it out. I update there pretty much daily. So even when I'm not feeling well and I'm not making videos, I am updating on Instagram. So please check that out down below if you want to keep up with me on a day-to-day basis. And you can actually go back and see more about specifics about my lining and the follicle counts and everything from all my appointments. It's all there. So again, I'll leave that link down below. It's a public profile, so it's not like you have to wait. You can just follow me and check that out. But I'm back. I'll be doing more videos, and I am so excited. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone who's gotten their BFP, to everyone who has given birth recently. It's been a really exciting time in our community, and I'm so excited and happy for all of you. And much love to everyone who is still fighting the good fight. I'm here for you. Let me know if you need prayers or just need someone to talk to, because so many of you have reached out and done the same thing for me, and I want to give back. That's what this community is all about, is to love and support one another and be there when the times get tough. So, okay, that's it. So I hope you guys are all doing really well. I've missed you so much, and I'm so glad to be back. I'll see you next time.